Cheryl Gray McDonald was born in Avon. She shares memories about her mother, the artist affectionately known as Mama Carrie, learning to paint.
It was kind of a mixed thing with her. She was kind of timid and shy, but yet she was very adventurous.
She was.
She was. And she just was one of these people that had that twinkle in her eye. She loved new and unusual things, and she would like to try things. But
do you remember when she started painting?
I sure do. It was the late 60s, because I was still in high school, and I believe I was about in the 10th grade, and they had an evening class there in oil painting, and so my mother talked me into going down there with her. She wanted to learn to paint. She wanted me to learn to paint too.
Okay.
She was interested in having her kids learn to do different things, so she signed both of us up, and we went down there in the evenings, and it was her first experience at oil painting, and of course mine too. And so she painted, for a few years using oils. She painted some beach scenes, and she loved painting flowers. She had done, quite a few flowers, kind of like what she wound up doing with the watercolor. She learned watercolor later. My nephew's wife, Denise, she had learned to do watercolor, and she kind of taught my mother some of the, watercolor techniques. And my mother developed her own style, but she pretty much encouraged her to use the watercolor.
And how would you describe your mother's style of painting? Realistic or impressionistic, or?
I think it has kind of almost a folk art appeal to it. A more impressionistic. I wouldn't call it realistic at all. But I think it's got kind of a whimsical, light, free style.
Were there many other artists in Avon at the time when she took up painting?
Well, there were a couple. I remember Miss Ina Scarborough. She used to paint.
Okay.
And my mother would, talk about her painting. And also Brooksy Cole, her maiden name was Brooksy Meekins. Her sister Lola Meekins lived here for all her life. She lived to be almost 100 years old, I believe, 98 or so. But Brooksy lives up in Elizabeth City, and she is a very good artist.
So there was a little community of women artists.
And there could have been other people who painted too around here. I hung around with them some, or was friends with them.
Do you have any idea of the first time your mom sold a piece of art?
It was probably when my sister Libby had the Gaskins Gallery. Libby and Denise, had the gallery together. And it was probably...
So pretty late then. I mean, she had been painting.
It was when the gallery had come along, yes. But she had done predominantly more oils earlier on. And I wouldn't say she didn't do, hundreds or anything like that, but she did paint. She enjoyed it. She always wanted to be an artist.
Any idea what your mom liked about being an artist?
Well, I think it was kind of a creative outlet for her. There wasn't a whole lot down here, at the time for a person to do something different, I guess. And I guess she was kind of attracted to the artwork. One, because I think she liked flowers a lot, and she liked nature, so she kind of wanted to replicate that. And number two, she had a great uncle who was an artist up in New York, and apparently he was a very good artist from what she told me.
Okay.
She didn't remember him that well because he had passed away when she was very, very young.
Okay.
But she remembered, some of the artwork that my great-grandmother up there had.